How you doing, YouTube? Matt Massive Beer Reviews, back with a little bit of side-by-side. New brewery, relatively new brewery, side-by-side, in the form of Fishweir Brewing Company. It is their anniversary ale. Both of these are. The only difference is we have a bourbon barrel-aged stout on this side. We have the same bourbon barrel-aged stout over here, but with cherries and orange zest. These comes courtesy of my boy Carson. He actually dropped this off in a beer mail not too long ago. The fifth beer mail of fifth beer mails that he sent off within a month's time. So this landed yesterday. I was really kind of interested, piqued my interest about these two, so we're going to dive into it because new brewery time. I think that's pretty much it. After, as far as this is each 6 months on Maker's Mark bourbon barrels. There you go. This anniversary stout represents all we achieved in the past year. Over here, it says each 6 months in Maker's Mark bourbon barrels. 6 months, so it matches up there. Anniversary stout, what we've done over the past year, it says exactly the same thing. So there's really nothing here that denotes that this actually has the orange zest and the cherries in it. I'm interested. Let's see how this sucker plays. Do that all the way up there for you guys so you can get a really nice close-up. I need a bottle opener. Let's pop this cap. Let's see. This is going to be a very complicated pour, but I'm going to crush it, so watch this shit. Huh? Oh, yeah, buddy. Almost nailed it. There you go. Perfect. We will plop that there. As far as the label design goes, I really kind of dig it, to be perfectly honest with you. It's nothing too crazy, nothing too ostentatious, very simple, to the point. I'm a fan. As far as those beers go, exact. There's really not much of a difference between the two. Over here and over here, about the same size head. I had this one a little bit more of an aggressive pour than that little extra pour at the end, hence the head difference. Same tight compact bubble, same kind of malted malt ball colored head, so she definitely looks the part of a barrel aged stout. Looks more like a barrel aged milk stout with me, the way the head comes off. But yeah, off to a decent start. See if we get a nose on this. This is without the old cherries and lemon zest, or orange zest, sorry. She smells like a base bourbon barrel aged stout. There's really not a huge barrel presence, but it's definitely there. A soft little cherry notes, nothing too boozy, nothing too hot. A little bit of very soft smoky charriness, very gentle, on top of a nice soft low ABV stout. I mean, this is what, 9.4? So let's say this gained a point for the sake of conversation from a wet barrel. 8% stout, 8.5% stout. Not a huge stout to begin with, so it's giving you the appropriate nose there. So you're getting soft roasted malts, a little bit of chocolate, maybe in a hint of the tiniest bit of coffee whatsoever, but that's pretty much it. So she smells nice, like a really well done bourbon barrel aged, gentle, light bourbon barrel aged stout. Let's see if we can get a nose on this one. Oranges. All the oranges belong to us. There's so much orange in here. I was about to say that it's too much for me, but I kind of like the mixture of orange and chocolate. This works for me, so yeah, it is so impactful from the orange end of things. It's kind of hard to get past it. It's not like, it's not organic orange. It doesn't come off like a real orange, but it's not synthetic either. What is it like? So it's not like orange candy, like a hard orange candy. It's kind of hard because it does have organic aspects and it has a sweetened aspect, kind of like almost like an orange, like those gummy worms, like an orange gummy worm, but it's not nearly as sweet as that. It's a little bit more fresher and organic than that. So the orange comes off not super zesty, not super spicy. It's very much not candied. It's oranges, and they're sweet, and they're not overly acidic. That's all I got for you guys right now. So let's just dive into the base. We'll see what's what. Cheers. That's a really well done bourbon barrel aged stout. I mean, nice, rich, roasted malts that kind of lead way into like a really nice soft milk chocolatiness. Works out really nice. There's that nice barrel at play here. Again, soft char, soft smokiness, a little bit more elevated when you expect base off of the nose. And that bourbon is there, but it's kind of almost like a secondary or third player. It's not hot by any stretch of the imagination, but you get those little soft cherries in there. Nothing too crazy. I like it. I think it's quite nice. You're talking about an 8% barrel aged or 9% barrel aged stout. Mouthfeel's on lock. It's nice. I like how it starts slightly abrasive with that roasted malts, a little bit of astringent bittering with the roasted malts, but makes way with a nice, soft, rich kind of milk chocolatiness. And then you just get that ever so gentle kind of rubbed with chocolate kind of barrel char kind of floating throughout it too. It's nice. It's both creamy and soft at the same time, slightly aggressive at certain points where those points need to be. So I think it's a really well done bourbon barrel aged stout. It's in today's standards, everybody wants volume. Everything wants everything cranked to 11. That's not where this lands. So if you're looking for a super barrel forward, crazy over the top bourbon barrel aged stout, this is not your beer. You're not going to find that here. But if you're looking for a well-made, balanced one, yeah. Now let's see what this side has to offer. Cheers. Oranges. Orange zest. Really does come through. Beer comes off a bit thinner. And I was hoping that the cherries, because of the cherry and orange zest over here, I thought with you getting that subtle orange component on this end of things, that or subtle cherry component from the bourbon over here, that once you add those actual cherries over here, that would just prop that up and accentuate that. And then hoping that orange zest was going to be a little bit smaller than what the nose would lead to believe. And just let the beer be more of a beer and let those adjuncts, they can be lead players, but play together well. That orange just really jumps to the front. I mean, it's really, really aggressive. And really just, it's the leading player. It kind of masks a lot of the other components and aspects of the beer to the point where it is really hard to get everything else. There is a soft milk chocolate underneath. There is that little bit of cherry. There's everything that you get in that beer over here. And you can get it over here, so you can barely get it. I don't know if I'd get it if I didn't have this beer in front of me. Maybe that's why. But it's just too much orange for me. It's not bad. It's not negative. It's not a negative beer. I'm not like, oh, this is disgusting. But it's just so one-sided when it comes to that orange, that citrus slice, that it just kind of, knowing how tasty this would be, I want this in the most basic sense possible. When you're talking about having a base beer, I mean, it's a barrel-aged beer. I wouldn't really call that a base beer, but it's a base beer for what this beer is. The ultimate goal of adding things, adjuncts, whatever you want to call them, adding components to a beer, is to elevate it to something, if not equal, but greater of its previous sum of its parts. I feel like it's kind of taken a step back here, and that's kind of, kind of a bummer. To be perfectly honest with you. What isn't a bummer? What isn't a bummer is that they took a cut. They took a swing. They tried. I don't think they landed. For me, maybe you love citrus and you love that orange combination in a stout and you want it to be forward. More power to you. I love that you love it. But for me, even though I don't think the beer, a 1-year-old brewery not just doing a bourbon barrel aged stout, but also doing an adjunct base to it, trying something that you don't see all that much. Cherries and orange, sure. You see oranges here and there. You see cherries more often, but a combination of the two, I can't tell you off the top of my head the last time someone did something like that. Sure they have. The fact that they get it is cool. So take that. If I'm going to take anything from that, that's what I would do. So, obvious winner for me. Really nice, well done. Not otherworldly, not the best bourbon barrel aged stout that I've had, but quite nice. This, not necessarily a negative beer, just a little bit too orange forward for me. Now, I plan to do the old cuvee to kind of see how these both went, but I want to do something a little bit different. Let's pour a little bit more of this in here. Let's splash. So what do we have here? We have, about maybe a quarter more of this over here. I'm going to pour maybe a third of this in here. See how that acts. Maybe we'll do a little blending on our own and try to get the right mixture of what we wanted this beer to be. Let's go right about there. That's what I'm assuming. Give me a little bit of that orange. Prop it up with a little bit more cherry. Yeah, you're getting slightest hint of that orange in there. That's where you want to be. That is exactly where you want to be. I'm really surprised I got that done on the first take. So I'm thinking you're looking at a third of this per this. Third quarter. So a quarter. So you want 3/4 this, 1/4 that. That's kind of where I think this would hit the sweet mark. Now, kind of fucked up because it should be opposite. This should be in the 750. This should be the can. That ratio would work out a little bit better. But with this, you're getting that sultry creaminess in the mouthfeel. You lost that over here. You get a little pop. Just ever so slightest bit of pop of booze. I did not get that on either of them. Together, it's a little bit more, and I like it. That booze aspect, that spirit aspect really didn't come to a forefront in either of these by themselves. Combined, I get a little pop of that. I kind of like that. It makes me know I'm drinking a bourbon barrel-aged beer. Milk chocolate thing is probably just a little bit less than what you're getting over here, but it's still present. Cherries are kind of floating there. I wouldn't say I'm getting more cherry than I did over here. Even though these have cherry added, it's still kind of just coming from the spirit over there. And then you get that nice kind of citrus coming up in the rear. It's now third or fourth player. It's not as dominant. It's not as aggressive as it is straight up in this beer. And that's kind of where I like this to sit for me. For this guy. For you, it might be a little bit different, but in a grand scheme of things, mixing these both together, I think is a positive thing. Just the ratio. Just the ratio. It's called learning. It's called growth, as Carson put it in the unboxing. So, yeah, very fun stuff. Thank you very much, brother, for sending these off. Very cool of you. I have a couple more Fishweir beers to go through, so hopefully you guys are interested. Let's talk about it. This is some of the better bourbon barrel-aged stuff that I had as of late. I really dig this beer. I would like to have this readily available in my fridge. Not that I wouldn't want to session it. When I'm in the mood for a nice, rich stout, this is be perfect. Not super impactful. Sometimes I want something a little bit more aggressive, but the way this sits, I'm a fan. Valued availability, or this one over here, talk about that again. Orange Ford just kind of missed the mark for me. Valued availability, no idea what these cost. I assume they're brewery only. Carson can let us know the rest of it and leave you with, if you like what we like these. This is a winner for me. If I lived close to the brewery, I wouldn't be, definitely would like to pick up some of this for myself. I would pick up one bottle of this. If I had this bottle, if I had 2 bottles of this, that would be perfect for me. If I had a 4-pack and two bottles of these, perfect. Because then I can open this, blend it with that, get that good world going. Then you have 4 cans to go with 1 bottle. You get where I'm going here now? So you could cap this over the weekend, share it with friends. You could make this last over 3 or 4 days. If you cap this and kind of open cans every day or so and kind of blend it. Works. I'm a fan. Take that second bottle, let her rest. Let her sit down. See what she turns into. I don't know if she's going to turn into something great. A lot of moving parts here. You got the bourbon barrel. You got the cherries. You have that lemon zest. Or the orange zest. It could turn into something really cool. It could explode on you. I mean, cherries are very nefarious for letting beers kind of go in certain different directions. But it'd be cool to see where that kind of orange ends up and how this beer kind of ages over time. Maybe not a long haul ager, 2-3 years, see where she goes. Be really fun. So yeah, there you go. If you like oranges, if you like drinkable bourbon barrel-aged beers, if you like science. There you go. Hopefully you guys enjoyed her side-by-side. Down there if you want to talk about it. Massive Beers if you want to check me out doing the social media stuff. Beer Massive. Want to check me out doing the whole podcasting thing. And hopefully you guys enjoyed our review. Hopefully you're enjoying a nice little side-by-side right now. And hope to see you next time. Cheers.